Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast, The Best Possible Me, where we look at relationship dilemmas, try to open different viewpoints and perspectives in hope that if everyone does this, we all become the best possible me. My name is Cindy.
And my name is Ayla.
Welcome back to our podcast, and today is episode number 6. And the story we would like to share today is called Am I Wrong for Not Telling My Friend Her Husband is Cheating? Yeah, very interesting title, so I will get into it. Yeah. I have been married to my husband since 2019 and we've known each other since 2016. Back in 2018, I met one of his closest friend, Peter. Later on, I get to know Peter's fiancée at the time, Sally. We all became very close friends, and Peter and Sally were even in our wedding party. But from the beginning, it was pretty clear that their relationship was messy. Peter is this kind of guy who loves his freedom, flirts a lot, and has very little sense of accountability. Sally, on the other hand, is anxious, controlling, and super jealous, and honestly, with reason. Still, they stay together from the teenage years through marriage. One of the main issues between them was a coworker of Peter's, Val. Sally was super jealous of her, again, for good reason. Val had openly hit on Peter and he totally encouraged it. Sally once told me, "You never be friends with her, right?" And I was like, "Of course not. We hate her together." Then life happened. I got the opportunity to work in the job of my dreams, which was also the same workplace as Peter's. Val also worked there. She started getting closer to me, and even though I knew what she was like, I didn't want to come off as unprofessional or cause any drama at work. So I stayed polite, keep it strictly work related, and tried to mind my own business. Sally started acting weird. She left the group chats, threw little passive aggressive comments at me in front of people, and gave me the cold shoulder even at the workplace where she'd come to pick up Peter. I figured it was because she realized I wasn't avoiding Val completely, but I still thought we were friends. Meanwhile, it became obvious that Peter and Val had something going on. He didn't even really hide it. He told me work was his safe place and he was tired of Sally, that she talks too much, that she never gave him space. He'd even ask her to spend the night at her mom's just so he could have a night of peace and play video games with his friends. And Sally could sense all of it. She even opened up to me a few times about feeling anxious and overwhelmed. I felt it wasn't my place to tell her what to do. I didn't want to meddle. I didn't want the whole thing to explode in the workplace and me being the cause. I didn't want to affect my relationship with my husband as they were friends of ours, but there I was watching it all fall apart from the inside. One time Peter even told me he had asked for a divorce, but Sally had a panic attack and wouldn't let him go through with it. She ended up going to another city for a few days to clear her head with a friend. What hurt me the most was that she didn't come to me. I was always so careful not to bring up Val or tell Sally anything that might hurt her. I held back so much to protect our friendship, and she didn't trust me enough to do the same. So I got angry. I distanced myself, but life moved on. Then one day at work, months later, I was making a silly TikTok. Val came over. She'd been trying to get closer to me for a while and joined the video. Big mistake. That was the final straw. Sally cut me off, unfollowed me, ignored me, and just froze me out completely. Weeks later, I tried to messaging her. That's when she unloaded everything. She told me I was never a good friend, that she always felt judged by me. She told me I didn't really care about her. Only asked her about Matt or if she was keeping Peter happy. Since she never brought up during our entire friendship, she just kept it all in and dropped it like a bomb later. And now I just keep wondering, was I wrong for not telling Sally that Peter was doing behind her back? Was I wrong for trying to protect my job and my own peace instead of getting involved? And is it really my job to interfere in someone else's relationship? all I wanted was to do my job and stay sane. But now I feel like I lost a friend. I got blamed for everything and still feel like I betrayed someone even though I did everything I could to stay neutral. It's a very long story, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a very detailed story that obviously takes process throughout a long period of time as well.
Yes.
So we have a very, very short input from Sal's version. She says, my husband is cheating on me, and my ex-best friend, who initially hated the girl that was chasing my husband, has sided with the girl and became pals with her. I feel so betrayed by everyone.
So that's from Sally, and that's really short. Okay, I'm gonna read Peter's vision. I loved my wife, but she was driving me crazy and I can't live like this anymore. The more she nagged me about possibly cheating, the more I feel repulsed by her. I felt trapped and life became so miserable. I actually found myself wanting to be with the woman that she accused me of cheating with until I actually did. Interesting, yeah. Okay.
And now Val's perspective, even more interesting. I really liked Peter from day one. I knew he was married, and it all started with harmless jokes about being each other's work husband, wife. This led to flirtation talk, and slowly I developed actual feelings towards him. He talked about being miserable at home and having so much fun with me and at work. When he offered we actually go out, I agreed. I liked him. I don't know his wife and don't feel obligated to her. He was clearly talking by then about divorce. So I knew that it was not me breaking them up.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. So how do you feel about the story, Ayala? I guess we start from the OP, from the person who wrote the first big story.
Yes. So it is a very long story.
Yes.
But it also looks at the whole situation from a long-term perspective.
Yes.
So we're seeing here, this is not one day. This is actually how it slowly built up in months and months of build-up.
Yes.
Not at the beginning, but rather the aftersight version of what happened there.
Since already happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that our main writer, but the person who originally wrote this,
yeah, let's call her Emily. Yeah, yes. Give her a name. Yeah.
So we're looking at it from Emily. Emily really sat a bit on the fence.
Yes.
Tried to be politically correct with everyone. So was she a good friend to Sally? Well, initially it seemed like she was. But then once she got that job that for her was her dream job.
Of course.
And unfortunately, it was in the same place as Peter and Val worked. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, when she started being politically correct with everyone and trying not to
take sides. She said she tried really hard to stay neutral, which seems like the right thing to do if it is mixed and work.
Yeah. And if we think of Emily's story, by that time, that friendship with Sally started already not being as warm and cuddly and strong as it was before. I was quite surprised that Emily was offended that Sally chose not to come to her when she was playing politically correct.
Wasn't informing anything what's happening at workplace to Sally anyway.
But probably also not butting up when Sally was saying bad things. So coming from a politically correct point of view or of sitting
neutral,
on sitting on the fence, probably her remarks to Sally were not as encouraging as they were beforehand, but rather trying to find peace.
Or stay out of it, really. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the advice possibly or suggestions that she gave Sally didn't really fit Sally's needs anymore. So Sally obviously didn't find her as such a close friend as they used to be.
And that's her right to choose whichever friend she goes to disclose things with. Yeah.
not only is it her right, but it almost makes sense that she would slowly find a different friend.
Yes, yes.
Someone who can side with her and understand her point of view and look at things only from her perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to look for friends that will support us and our decisions,
Yes.
rather than friends that will actually help us open our eyes and maybe look at it from different perspectives.
Right. But Emily didn't do that neither. Emily was more like, oh, I want to stay out of it. I don't want to get involved.
Yes, but if she actually gave suggestions to Sally about, are you keeping Peter happy and things like that, if we think about our friends, do we want friends that actually put a mirror in front of us and sometimes tell us the harsh truth? Or do we want friends that just say, yeah, you're right, and be little cheerleaders to what's happening in our life?
It depends on the friendship. Doesn't feel like Emily and Sally were, like the best friends. In other episodes, we discussed about like growing up together from the same hometown, knowing each other, knowing everything about each other. Doesn't feel like they have the same relationship because they know each other through their husbands. And I know you can find friendships later in life, but again, didn't feel like they were the best friends of each other to begin with.
It seemed like they were in the same social circle.
Yes.
And supportive from the same social circle, but not necessarily very, very close girlfriends as such.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm asking myself, why did Emily get so hurt by Sally choosing not to side with her?
Or to go to a different friends to talk about issues with her marriage or what's actually been happening.
So my gut feeling, and again, we don't really know all the
we
details.
We don't know, yes.
But my gut feeling is that Emily really wants to please everyone. She's a pleaser. So she doesn't want to get involved because she doesn't want conflict and she doesn't want to meddle. But being a pleaser doesn't necessarily mean that everyone will feel close to you.
True.
Because you don't really build that intimacy. And if you don't build the intimacy, you can't expect that closeness.
Yes, yes.
And then she was surprised that all of a sudden she doesn't have that with Sally. Again, because she was a pleaser, she wanted Sally to really like her. But can you actually be in a position where both sides really like you when you're not taking sides?
No, yes, see, that's impossible. In this kind of situation, it's impossible to be good friends with both sides.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
And Emily shouldn't, I think, need to feel that everyone is okay with her. She's allowed to take sides. She's allowed to have her own opinion.
Yes.
And her own opinion could be, I don't want to get involved, which is fair enough. But then don't expect the other side to be happy with your decision. That's okay. You need to be okay with yourself, not necessarily with everyone around you.
Yes, yes, definitely.
You can't please everyone.
Yep. And there are a few questions I guess she raised at the end of her post. We can start, I guess we can refresh these questions a little bit and then we can start with answering these questions. Was I wrong for not telling Sally what Peter was doing behind her back?
That's a hard question.
It is, yeah, yeah.
And I think that it really depends on how Sally actually feels. What's more important for her? Being okay at work and not having drama at work, or being okay with Sally and being a best friend to Sally.
Right. No matter what your work situation is, or no matter what you choose to do, let's say tell the truth and what's been happening, what you observed at work. If you tell that to Sally, how is that going to damage your work relationship with your work friends or workmates or colleagues?
And also with Peter, who is your husband's friend.
There's another layer,
which is another
of relationship there. Yes.
Because if she would side with Sally, it might mean that there will be an explosion between her and Peter, which will affect her relationship with her husband, who is Peter's friend.
But there was nothing talking about what's her husband's point of view?
No,
No, that's
we
also
don't know
really
that.
interesting. We don't know.
But I'm assuming that that's what led Emily to be in that place of sitting on the fence and not siding with everyone and just trying to be okay with everyone here.
Right. So there's no short answer. Was I wrong? What was Emily wrong for not telling Sally? It's it's hard to say. It's not right or wrong. It's really how you value your friendship with this woman, this person in this story is Sally. I don't think what she did was necessarily right or wrong. Would you agree? Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree, and especially that it's so complicated because of Peter and the
Emily's husband. Yeah.
yeah, and the possible relationship between Peter and her husband, and I think that again from what we can see from Emily's writing, she didn't want to meddle. So feeling that if she actually sides clearly with Sally and tells her specifically what she's seeing in the workplace, then that would actually be meddling in that relationship, which is, it sounds like it's against Emily's value system.
Right. Okay. So let's move to the second question that she raised. Was I wrong for trying to protect my job and my own peace instead of getting involved? You sort of touched on that already.
Yeah. And again, it's your value system, and what comes first for you is your job. And for her, this job was a very specific and
It's
very
a dream
important
job. She loves it. Yes.
Yes. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a job. And we know that sometimes people work in just a job.
Yes.
And sometimes, no, this is my dream job. This is a place I don't want to lose.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
that's more important to me than anything else.
Right.
So that comes into it as well. And then there is, again, that element of how much am I close to my friend? How much am I close to my own needs? And those boundaries of, if it impacts me, will I go there? Will I not go there for my friend? And you do need to think of your own needs, not only of your friend's needs.
Of
That's
course.
fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. But something came to my mind that I think in Emily's post, well, we're just faking this name for her as for the story. In Emily's post, at one point, she mentioned she was trying to giving herself excuse of not, or the reasons I didn't tell Sally about this because I do not want this to explode at work. In a way, she felt she would be blamed, or she would feel really guilty if this happened. Reading that, I feel like we need to make something clear for people in her situation. Even if she chose to tell Sally what is actually happening, it is still not her fault. She is not the person that is a cheater in this relationship. So she is not the person that's making the wrong choices here of not communicating with the partner and having a flirtatious relationship at work and potentially cheating on the husband. Even if, all I want to say is, even if Emily makes the decision of telling Sally what has happened, what that action leads into, whatever explosion or incident happened, it's still not on her. It's on Peter.
100%, and I totally agree with you. Saying that, we know how workplaces gossip can get out of control, and we do know how many times there can be a lot of drama gossip happening,
Right.
to lure, in a way, blame on Emily, although this whole thing is not Emily's fault at all.
Peter and Val started it. It has nothing
100%.
to do with Emily.
But
yeah.
we really don't know how that work gossip would be pro or against Emily versus Val versus Peter. So
True, you're right. And we do spend a lot of, I don't know what this job she talks about, but if you work 9 to 5, you actually end up spending more time with your colleague in your 9 to 5 job than your partner. You got home how many hours so you guys before you go to sleep. So I guess I see your point. Your work dynamic is also very important, and you spend majority of the day during the day with them. If they make it really uncomfortable place for you, she wouldn't like it. Emily wouldn't like it.
And going to a third question, is it really my job to interfere in someone else's relationship?
Well, short answer is no. It's not your job to interfere with others' relationship. But in the beginning, she did describe Sally as her close friend. And there are times Sally came to her and raised her concerns of their marriage. So there's just so many layers to this. We can't say a firm yes or no.
No, we can't here. And again, it is such a value system element here. But let's widen the discussion and talk more generally about what is a best friend's role. And do different people see friends differently?
Definitely, yes. Maybe for Sally, best friend should be like ride or die. You will have to be on my side. Anything happens relating with Peter, you are obligated to tell me. Maybe in a way, Emily felt to fulfill that best friend or good friend role to Sally. That's why Sally chose to go to a different person, when things happen
Yep.
in her marriage.
And it's interesting because it seems from Emily's perspective that Sally saw her as a best friend.
That's interesting. Yes.
Yes, and or at least that's how she reported it. Now, were they best friends between the two of them, or did Emily feel that Sally felt that she was her best friend? And did Emily feel that Sally actually also was her best friend?
Was the feeling neutral?
Yeah.
Sorry, mutual. Was the feeling mutual?
Yes, and obviously we talked before about their relationship and was it best friends for life and things like that for many years of history, or was it more of a social circle thing, and within that social circle they were the best friends, but it wasn't necessarily the same level of best friend as you would have with someone that outside of your social circle is your
Right.
best friend.
Okay, that you guys have exactly the same value set.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
And yes, I think that it's a very difficult question to answer. Is it a best friend's role to actually tell your friend? And I think we discussed it in previous podcasts about best friends, and should they tell, or should they support, or should they open your eyes to reality, or should they just support what you say and be there for you and not necessarily voice an opinion?
You need both, I guess. And times you do need your feelings to be validated. If you have a gut feeling about something, it would be really nice to have a good friend to go to and then have your feelings validated. That's part of friendship. And we see that so much between female friends. But at the same time, like you said, good friends would be okay with the others, open them up to different opinion and different possibilities of actions they can take.
Yes. I have to say that I would not consider someone as my best friend if she doesn't actually give me real feedback.
If it just agrees with whatever you said, then
yes.
is that really?
Because personally, I don't want a cheerleader. I want someone to argue with me and show me other points of views and other ways of thinking of things to open my eyes and help me grow and help me make decisions that way.
Right.
But that's me. That doesn't mean that everyone is like that.
Yeah. Not everyone is wanting the growth.
So it could also be not a question of is it a best friend's role, but more is it a best friend's role in this type of a relationship I have with my best friend. So just like we have different levels and different kinds of relationships with partners, we might also have different types of relationships with best friends. Sometimes all we're looking in a best friend is for a cheerleader or a validator.
Yes.
And sometimes we're looking for someone to help us open our eyes to things.
Definitely. And your life experience in general plays so much into that role of being able to open your eyes or giving different opinions.
Yes, I think so. And I also think that there's almost a non-verbal agreement between friends. What kind of a relationship do we have? What are our expectations?
Yes.
And often, or I'd say most of the time, this isn't really discussed. It's just something that we build together.
You build up
and over time.
yes.
Yes. saying that, I don't know if it's a bad idea to actually sometimes open up that question as a philosophical question with your friends
Yeah, yeah.
of what my expectations actually are from you as a best friend and what are your expectations from me as a best friend.
Right. What are the qualities you're looking for in a best friend's situation? Yeah.
So just like we're talking about relationships with partners and needing to sometimes open up all kinds of conversations about things
Yes.
rather than assuming things, maybe same thing goes with best friends.
True.
Another element that comes up here is obviously they were in the same social circle.
Yes.
So why is it all about Sally? Where is Peter here?
Exactly. And where's Emily's husband? What does he think about it? Has Peter been communicating with Emily's husband about what's happening in marriage? We do know men, very in general speaking, they don't talk a lot about their feelings and what's actually happening. But at the same time, is there any conversations around that?
Yeah. And I'd even add that if Sally feels very uncomfortable in the workplace seeing Peter, who is a husband of a friend of hers,
Yes.
actually flirting, why not go directly to Peter? Just the two of them and have a heart-to-heart chat about what she's actually seeing and how uncomfortable that is making her feel
Exactly.
being loyal
Yes.
to Sally.
Yes, yes. She can very much say, I see your wife, Sally, as my good friend, and now we work at the same place. What's happening between you and Val? You're putting me, right now, I'm in a very uncomfortable situation.
Yes. And actually opening Peter's eyes to the fact that by him behaving the way he is, he might increase Sally's feeling of him being a cheater, and therefore she's more and more jealous, and all the things that he's saying that he's tired of hearing her constantly nagging him about. Well, if he maybe acts a bit differently, maybe that nagging will go away. So
Definitely, yeah.
possibly a direct conversation with Peter might have, rather than meddling in their relationship, might have improved their relationship.
And we don't know. Well, from Emily's description, looks like it's very flirtatious relationship between Peter and Val, but Emily didn't know for sure are they truly cheating. Emily didn't actually have a clear picture what was Peter doing.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
she only knows what she sees.
Yep.
And she sounds like a person who does not want to assume things, or she does not want to meddle.
Yes. Yes.
But from the other version we did see,
Well,
there
yes,
was
yes,
cheating.
but Emily wouldn't know that. But again, it could still be. Look, I'm not saying that you are actually cheating on Sally,
Yes, yeah.
but your behavior here is a bit over the top.
That you can definitely say.
Yeah. And one last question is: if it was the other way around, Emily,
Right. Yes. If Emily's husband is working in the same workplace with Sally,
Yep.
and similar things are happening, what is Emily's expectation from Sally?
Yes, because I think that when Emily needed to make a decision of how to make, what to do here,
What to do, what to say.
Yep.
Yeah.
if you would try and put yourself in her shoes, what would you like?
Her to do for
Yes.
you as a good friend. If they see each other as good friends.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And that could help Emily actually make a decision or make the decision she made. So if you wouldn't want Sally to meddle, maybe that's why she didn't meddle.
Interesting. So she's living by her own value sets and standards
Hopefully.
in a way. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully we all live in the same standards and value system that we have for ourselves, because that makes us true to ourselves, and that's the most important thing.
Right. If that's what Emily is doing, then she does not need to question this. Was I wrong? Was I wrong? No, you were not wrong. You were living by the value and standards and things that you were doing is being true to yourself.
Yes. And that's all we can all do in order to be our best possible selves.
Yes, definitely. very interesting. There's a couple more people in this story, but I definitely see similar things happening to people every day, because we're all connected in a way or another, right? You might know this person from a different circle of friends, but then you end up working together and there are things happening, you don't know how to deal with it. And yeah, the similar situation could happen to anyone, to us
Yep.
even.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I guess that brings us to the end of our episode 6.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
If you also have a relationship dilemma that you are struggling with and you would like us to bring it up here anonymously, you can email us on bestpossibleme.podcast@gmail.com. You can also find the email address in our podcast bio. Don't forget to like and follow our podcast so you get the notification of each new episode. See you next week.